Hello, in this video we're going to go through OC Enterprise, the navigation, and dashboard. So to start, we're going to go through the navigation of OC Enterprise. Upon logging into your portal, this should be the first window that you see. If you have any issues logging in, you would call our support team to actually assist you with that part. Once logged in though, to go over the navigation, you'll see the dashboard and the toolbar at the top. To go through OC Enterprise, when you select that, will just actually bring you to the dashboard. When you select Company, that's where you could actually edit some of your information. So we have Concepts. That would be if you have one company with multiple concepts underneath it in an umbrella. We tend to break that down by stores now, and we don't really use concepts as much. Regions would be if you had a chain of stores, half on West Coast, half on East Coast. Maybe it's the same supplier with two different order codes based on the region. So that's a great way to actually separate things by area. We have all your stores. So that would be the actual stores set up underneath your company in Enterprise. Store groups are used to make custom reports. So you could group together any set of stores to get filters on reports. So if you had an area manager and he was responsible for 5 locations, you could take those 5 locations and make that a store group just to see reports on that area manager. You have contacts, pretty self-explanatory, and then the preferences of the actual enterprise. Next up we have setup. Now the setup is what you're going to be doing to actually customize all the fields within here, especially when you're creating your database. So they're all pretty self-explanatory. We got allergens, accounts, categories, groups, sales groups, suppliers, your taxes, your tax groups, unit of measurement. You can set up your periods, and then you can put some default conversions in, which we already have loaded, but you could add more. Recipe is where you'll be using the most of this to create your database. So you'll see here, that's where you create your raw items, your batch prep recipes, and then your finished products. The case size overview gives you an opportunity to see all the different ways you buy each item. The product overview gives you a way to see all the different ways you sell products. Recipe sets, that's where you will actually create new recipes and send to the stores. And then we got recipe set configuration, which controls what is part of the sets and what was changed when it hits the stores. We have utilities. That's where you could look at things like item costing. You could do item and recipe management. So that's where you could actually get rid of things you don't need. Look at how much of certain ingredients are in certain recipes. All kinds of good stuff. Item classification editors, where you would go to make bulk changes to your database. Let's say you have whole groups of items that you want to move from one group to another, or you want to make a mass change of where things are physically kept under groups, that kind of stuff. Access levels and users, well, that's to get to the website and what they could see. So that's pretty self-explanatory. Then we have reports. So reports is where you'll actually get all the reports on the website. You could set up favorite reports, which will pick and choose of the reports, the ones you tend to look at most, so you could actually find them really quick. You could do store-by-store comparison from this window. That will let you look at the cost of a certain ingredient compared to one store to another, or how much you're selling something for from one store to another. And then we have your upload history, see how everything was run. And then we have Joe's Burgers, which is just your user, and then that's where you could switch between concepts if you have that applicable. So generally that's the navigation of the toolbar, but what you really see when you log in is this dashboard. So the dashboard represents what's going on in your company with OC Enterprise. Whatever you see in this window is determined based on these sets of dates. So we let you customize this all you want. You could do by period, today, this week, last month, this month, custom, whatever you like. So right now I have a custom set for one whole year, and everything you see in here is based on the year. The first thing we're going to go over is the upload overview. This is a very useful tool to see if all the stores are uploading what they should be. So you'll see all your stores over here, and based on these dates in the last 7 periods, so if I'm running a year, well, it's going to use 7 years back to get the estimated amount of invoices or inventories or sales or daily sales or waste that each store should be uploading. So it gives it an amount that we should expect. If I pick this week, well, it's going to use the last 7 weeks to get that number. So whatever you pick in here, after you click go, will then sort based off stores who's doing what. So to explain some of these symbols, if you see a red X, well, that means that there's an error at the store, so there's a problem with the upload. So it can't upload an invoice if there's a problem with the invoice itself. That tells me I need to look and see why. If you see the green check, well, that's perfect. That means we accepted as many as we were expecting. So there's no problems. The other symbol you might see is this question mark. Well, that tells me nothing's been uploaded. So if there's a question mark, that means that component of the software wasn't used. So if you see something like that under inventory or sales, well, it could be they're not opening the program. It could be they just didn't do their inventory when they were supposed to. All kinds of things, but it at least tells you that that's an issue. The other symbol that you might not see here is on this side, you'll see the yellow exclamation mark. So you'll sometimes see that in here as well, and that means the opposite of the green check. It means that it was uploaded, but we didn't receive the amount that we were expecting. So it could be they're not up to date with entering invoices or sales or something. So it might be worth it to call the store to see. But that's what the upload overview is for. It's very useful to make sure everybody's uploading what they should be and all the stores are using the program. The next thing is the recipe set overview. So just like the upload overview, this is going to go through all the uploads of all your recipe sets. So when you're sending them down to the store, this tells us if the stores get them, if there's problems, if there's errors, all kinds of stuff. So you see the name of the recipe set, you see the date it's available, and then you see the status. So the status represents, did it work? Did it not work? Was there an error? So if you see the green check, that's the best. You know that one store was sent, one store was installed, no errors. Perfect. If you see a red X, well, there was a recipe set failed to create. That's an issue with how you're creating it, or you know, it tends to tell you what the issue is, as you can see on the bottom there, upload failed. So that might warrant a call for support or a little bit of troubleshooting. This one tells me that the recipe set's been uploaded, but no stores have installed it yet. So that's an issue in itself. Have they not opened up Optimum to receive the recipe set? You might want to find out what's going on there. But that, again, is a great way to make sure as you send down a recipe set, is it actually hitting the store? Do they have the latest addition to our database? Are they up to date? That's what this tool is for. The purchase summary and the sales summary are pretty self-explanatory. It's basically whatever date range you have here collects company-wide a pie chart of your purchase summary or your sales summary. You could turn off or on groups just to kind of customize it. You could do the same with your sales categories over here as well. But that is generally it for the enterprise for navigation and just what the dashboard does. If you have any questions on this section, please call our support line at 1-888-798-5555 extension 1.